Sounds perfect. Thank you for the introduction. And I look forward to this opportunity to speaking with you all for a little bit. I'm just going to give you a little bit of, context to this conversation right now. I am from Ccac, and just know that I will be covering information regarding the college. And if there's anything that you hear throughout this and you may have not had the opportunity to ask any questions, I will give us time towards the end of the session to be able to ask any types of questions. And then I'm also available to you even outside of this session to follow up with you, to support you, or to give you any information that may have been missed throughout this discussion. And also feel free, if you put a question in the chat or a question while we are going through, feel free to ask away. This is a very informal conversation. Usually this conversation would occur in a classroom somewhere. We'd all get to know each other. And I know it's a little bit difficult now that we are using Zoom in an online format. So we'll work through it as we go through. And we'll all get a little bit of a chance to speak. So if you don't start volunteering whenever I ask questions, I will call you out. So, let's make sure that we're getting ourselves engaged, because I want to hear from you as well. So I'm going to start off with an introduction of myself. My name is Andrew Johnson. I work at the Community College of Allegheny County. My title there is Executive Director of Community Partnerships and External Affairs. The important part about that title is the opportunity that I have to partner with organizations such as the one you're participating in now, and to be able to work with students to see what they would like to do and to help plug them into that pathway for a career. That's what we're here. We're here to get ourselves a career, get ourselves an opportunity to better ourselves, and get into a pathway of doing something that we would like to do. I know that you've all had opportunities throughout your school year, throughout programs, to talk about what your career pathway is. And I would like to, ask some of you to voluntarily give me what you would like to do with yourself. So if we could, and I feel like there's only 5 of you online, we could actually get all 5 of you. I would like for you to state your name, your school, what grade you're in, and if you have career interests. If you aren't at the point where you have a career interest, talk about some personal interests. So is there anybody who would like to go first, or would you like me to just call off some names?
I'll go first.
That's perfect. Could you state your name for me, please?
My name is Miracle.
Hi, Miracle. Where do you go to school at?
I go to school at UPrep.
Okay, University Prep. And what grade you in?
9th.
You be going to next year? I guess we are at the end of the school year. So what grade will you be in next year?
Oh, 10th.
Okay, you'll be in 10th grade. And do you have a career interest right now in your life?
I want to be a pediatrician.
Oh, that's great. So you want to be a pediatrician. That's a very great opportunity. I'm glad you said that. We'll touch upon some things in the healthcare field as we're going through. So great. Okay, who would like to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay, is that Quay speaking?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Quay. I'm a senior at Obama. I graduated. Today's my last day of school.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
My career interests, I want to work with people. I want to be involved in communities, and I want to give back to others any way I can, because me growing up, I've been involved in different programs and been around people, and I like interacting with people, and I want to be able to, do the same thing when I get older. My ideas is studying business management with a minor in psych or sociology. So hopefully I can figure out what I would like to do with those 2 things. And that's pretty much my end goal, is to be with people, maybe start a business or invest in one.
That is great. If you don't mind me asking, and you don't have to answer this, if there's ever a question you don't feel comfortable with, do not answer it. Do you have plans for the upcoming fall? Do you know what school you'd like to go to? Do you have anything planned for your next step?
Yeah, so getting down to the wire, I think I'm going to do Ccac to save money for a couple years, and then I'm going to transfer to maybe IUP, I think, or Cal, but I think IUP is where I want to be at.
That's great. If you ever want to talk more, I work at Ccac. I got a bachelor's from Cal U and I got a master's from IUP. So I've been there and done that, and I could tell you, what that would look like. You could always remember that there's your initial pathway into higher education. At Ccac, we have associate and then moving on into bachelor's levels and master's degree. When I was your age, I was heading into Slippery Rock University, and I didn't end up graduating from there. I transferred, so my pathway changed a little bit. So just make sure that you're all, this is for everybody, all constantly self-reflecting on what you want to do. But I'm glad that you're that knowledgeable, and we could follow up and talk a little bit more about some of these opportunities after our session, you know, in these upcoming weeks to make sure that you get everything you need in order to come to CCAC.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Who would like to go next?
I'll go next. My name
How you
is
doing?
Michael. I'm a rising junior. I go to Central Catholic, and I'm interested in film, like film directing, producing, all that stuff.
Oh, that's great. Do you remember me, Mike? I work for Higher Achievement.
Not really.
You don't remember? That's quite all right. That was a few years ago, but I do remember you. And so we do have at CCAC, and I'll get into these more, but we do have film production. The Pittsburgh area has a lot more film things that are going on. There's a space called the Carey Furnace that they use a lot for filming. So yes, film technician. Realize there's people with cameras in their hands, and there's people that are, you know, doing stage. There's people that are actually up there as the actors. There's so many different areas. So just make sure that as you're considering that, you start gaining more understanding of how many different pathways there are within that specific field. And thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
All right, so we got two more. Who would like to go next?
All right, I could go next.
All right.
So I'm Nicoye Ferris. I go to Urban Pathways. I'm getting ready to become a junior in the fall. So far, I think I'm interested in journalism, but I've also been looking at psychology maybe.
That is awesome. So understand that there are certain things that, and we'll dive more, but there are certain things that are, I need this degree to get this job, and there are certain things where I need this degree to learn the skill set in order to be able to do that. So when you have a psychology degree, that can spread out across multiple platforms because that's helping you understand the way that people think. And so it's not necessarily like, I'm going to get this job with this psychology degree. I can get this job with the skill set that I learned from taking these courses. And as a journalist, a lot of times you're going to be embedding yourself into people's cultures, into their communities, into their lives. Like if you look at what's going on right now in our society, you can't just come in from a different culture or a different background and start filming and documenting what's going on in a community without getting to know those people. So the psychology of journalism. So there's both of those things come into play where sometimes we feel like those are completely different pathways, but there is crossover. So I like those ideas, and we will be talking about some things that maybe you could take advantage of while you're still in high school in order to help you out along that pathway. Thank you.
Thank you.
But not least, did you have something to say, or were you just saying thank you? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was just saying thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so Zamira.
Zamira has notoriously spotty internet, so if he
Okay.
doesn't respond, he's probably just cracking out. So,
And that's quite all right. I'm familiar with Zamira and have talked with him about these types of opportunities. And so we could just continue on in our conversation. Zamira, if you have any questions at any time and you're able to get through, you could just send them in the chat, or you could follow up and we could discuss it offline. So in consideration of that, what we're going to do is I'm going to start off with just a little bit of an overview of CCAC. Is anybody on here familiar with CCAC at all? Any of you ever been to any of our campuses? Have you ever been to any programs that we've hosted? Anything like that?
Yeah, I took a English 101 class 2 summers ago at the Northside camp, Allegheny campus.
So I could tell you're familiar with it because you fixed it from the north side to the Allegheny campus. The name of it. Did you happen to do that through a program? Was it Neighborhood Learning Alliance, or was it just through a dual enrollment opportunity?
Both. Yeah, Neighborhood Learning Alliance, Learn to Earn.
Okay, that's great. And so that's going to be something that we discuss a little bit further, will be some of our dual enrollment opportunities. So just a quick overview of the college. What I'm going to be doing is, I know all of you do not have access to the camera, but that is quite all right because I will verbally discuss what is on the screen as well. So right now I'm going to be sharing my screen with everybody. And the screen that you should be able to see is our CCAC homepage. Can somebody tell me if they're able to see that?
Can see you.
Okay, good. So as you all see, and this is just a little bit of understanding of our college, and then also whenever you're searching different types of opportunities, this will help you out as well. So if you look, it's ccac.edu. Any type of higher education institution that you're going to be looking at is going to be ending with edu. So, you know, sometimes there's websites, there's opportunities out there that you may not know, hey, is this a right one? Is this a proper one? So look for that edu at the end of it to know that it is an educational institution. So our homepage for CCAC, you to access any type of information that you would ever want about the college. Clearly, you could ask that you work with, other adults, myself, anybody like that. But when you're on your own and you're reflecting, I heard on here that some of you may still need to finish up a journal entry. So that means that you are all journaling. And regardless of the topic, that is great because that's helping you to self-reflect and to continue to grow and get a larger understanding of what pathway you are on. And while you're doing that type of reflecting, make sure that you're also following that up with information. So some of you on here have discussed some pathways, some opportunities CCAC does have to offer. One of the students, Quay, has mentioned that she's considering coming to CCAC. So in consideration of that, anytime you have a college, you have a school such as CCAC that you want to come to, make sure you come and access their website, see what it's all about. So our website, this is our homepage. The easiest thing to do, if you ever come on here and you can't find something, use the search bar. The search bar can be useful with any organization, any institution. If there's a search bar, use that to be able to locate some of the information that you may have. And as I'm talking, I heard that other people are signing on. So if you signed on in the middle of me talking, I am from CCAC, and that's what we're discussing is a little bit of an overview of the college. And then we'll start talking about some program opportunities that you could take advantage of. So,
and Mr. Andrew, if you don't mind me jumping in for, I'm sorry,
yes, absolutely.
Sorry to interrupt for just a moment. The one thing that I want to say, those of you who have just joined us, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it, especially on some of your last Fridays of your last week of school. We really appreciate you being here. I understand that not all of you can turn your cameras on. Not all of you feel comfortable turning your cameras on. I'm doing it even with my ridiculous mustache right now, so I don't know why you guys can't. But even if you're not going to turn your cameras on, please make sure to have questions prepared for Mr. Andrew so that, not only are we all participating, but we're engaging as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And you know what, in consideration of that, just to feed off of that a little bit, you all know that you've just been doing some schooling online for the past few months. Going into higher education, that is also something that's an opportunity for individuals is to do online learning. So in consideration of online learning, you have to remain engaged. You have to be engaged with the people, whether they're talking like this or whether there are assignments, discussion boards, things that you need to do on the side. So you have to start feeling comfortable with using your screen and using your camera, because as we continue to move forward, some of these things are going to become a new normal for the workplace of a more electronic opportunities of having meetings, having conversations, working together remotely. That's not going to go away just because COVID allows us to go back to our workspace. So you need to get comfortable with that. And so in consideration, what we're going to do is start looking at some of the aspects that the college has to have. Across the top of our website, as you can see here, are different tabs in which you can access. Okay, so we're not going to be able to get into absolutely everything CCAC has to offer. It's Friday. This is the end of the school year for some of you. So I want to make sure that I give you the most important information to be able to support you this summer for those of you that would like to take some opportunities at the college, those of you that have graduated and would like to come in, and those that may take advantage of dual enrollment. So the first thing we want to talk about, the first thing we need to understand, and I've had you all talk about, is what do we want to go for? What is our pathway? What is our end destination? I like to tell kids to think about things backwards. So imagine tomorrow morning's Monday and you're waking up to work. What does that look like? Are you putting on a suit and tie? Are you putting on a blouse on a dress? Are you putting on, you know, a polo like I'm wearing now? Are you able to wear short sleeves? Are you putting on gym clothes? What types of outfits are you wearing? Because that'll speak to the type of job that you're going to be going to. What are you leaving from? A home, from an apartment? Are you living in a city, in the suburbs, in the country? What type of car are you driving? Are you taking public transportation? A lot of these things will be factoring into where am I at when I'm in my career. Once we're understanding that, then we can look at, okay, what types of programs exist for me to get into that career path? So I'm going to use our academics tab. As you pull down the academics tab off of ccac.edu, there's a link called Academic Programs and Disciplines. You're going to go to that site. So as you can see, multiple programs and disciplines that Ccac has to offer. These programs are not just one type of program. These are clusters. So we had individuals on here talk about working with people. Does anybody see the program on here that you in order to work with people and support people and do community work? And Quay, I believe that was something you would like to do. So if you could, can you identify the one on the screen that you think would have pathways to be able to work with people?
Humanities or social sciences?
There you go. So arts and humanities has a piece of it, but the one I want to look at is social sciences. So
social science.
Yeah, social sciences. What?
Yep, you did them both. Those were absolutely correct. So if you look within our social sciences, look at all the different pathways that are in here. These aren't the degree programs yet. We're going to get down into that on the next level. So a few of you have mentioned one of these on the list. And if you can tell, you can see that I've clicked on it a few times myself. Psychology. So we are going to look at psychology right now and see what opportunities in this program. So our website, it tells you the different types of jobs that are out there, how much money they make. It gives you ways to be able to find and learn more about that program, about that career. I'm sorry, not even the program, about the career, to see what types of actual careers are out there. So right now, we're going to be looking at the psychology AA. Does anybody know what the AA would mean? What type of degree would you get from CCAC?
Associates.
Associates, there we go. Good job. See, you were all prepared for this. I'm talking to the, talking to the choir right now. Everybody knows what's going on here. So if you see here are our different campus locations. Allegheny campus is located on the north side, as we've heard earlier. For some of you that are just coming on, you may have not heard that. So our Allegheny campus is on the north side in the city of Pittsburgh. Our Boys campus is located in Monroeville. Our North campus is in McCandless, or in the North Hills area, and South campus is in West Mifflin. However, CCAC acts as one college. So regardless of what campus you would go to, you're a part of CCAC. It's best to go to the campus that you have the easiest access to, but at the same time, some of the programs that you would go into may require you to take some courses at a different campus, but when you finish as a CCAC graduate, regardless of the location. Some of you may end up taking online courses. The same goes for online. We also have centers, and we will get into that here in a little bit of some of our locations outside of our campuses. But as we scroll down, these are the types of courses students would be taking on a pathway towards an associate's degree in psychology at CCAC. So Quay mentioned having taken an English 101 class. There it is. The first course listed is English 101, English composition. So you did yourself a massive favor by giving yourself a head start on your college education while you were still enrolled in high school. I recommend that all of you on here consider that opportunity of taking at least one course to explore, is this something I want to do? Or do I need to start looking at different types of majors, different types of pathways because the learning that you received in that class? Look at the second class. Intro to Psych is Psych 101. Most bachelor degree level 4-year programs, you're going to need to take a social science course, and a lot of students take psychology. I took psychology while I was in college, and most of the people that I work with have, because we work in the field of education. As you see and continue down the list, there is a thing called an elective. So here is a computer or technology elective, a history elective, a math elective. As we go down here, a psychology lifespan or developmental elective, and speech elective. That's a tough one there. The speech class is something that a lot of you need to, may need to, I'm not going to make the assumption, but may need some support in order to be able to do it. Because does anybody know what one of the #1 fears of people are whenever it comes to these types of classes?
Public speaking.
Speaking in front of everyone.
Yeah, speaking. I heard public speaking and speaking in front of everybody.
And if I may,
Yeah.
there was a study that came out, it was probably 15, 20 years ago now, but they studied the average American citizen. The #1 fear was public speaking. The #2 fear was death.
So people are afraid of public speaking more than they're afraid of death. So that goes to show you that's why we have these types of classes. What we're doing right now is a forum for public speaking. Getting up in front of your classroom and doing presentations, getting in front on the stage and doing some sort of performance. Those are types of things in journalism. You know, somebody mentioned they want to go to journalism. If you were on television and broadcasting, you're speaking to the public, you're public speaking. So there are different types of levels of public speaking. And so I wanted to put that on your radar because I know a lot of people who have struggled in this course. And that was when I was enrolled in high school. I'm not even talking, in college. I'm not even talking about now. I'm talking about my pathway 150 years ago. So as we move forward, 3rd and 4th semesters, okay, you see the class numbers start increasing. Now you start getting into the 200 level of courses. So even though this is not an exact science, think of your freshman year, your first year being 100 level courses, your second year being 200, 300 your junior year, 400 as you're a senior. As you get into graduate school, you get into 5, 6, 7, 8, and 900 level courses. I just finished a doctoral degree where I was in 800 and 900 level courses. And that's a massive step between 100 and 900, but it's a progression. And so we're not going to give you a course, let's say Psychology 290 in your first semester. We're going to give you Psychology 101, English 101, biology. Biology is something that you need to be strong with if any of you plan on going into what I will look at next is healthcare. Somebody mentioned on here getting into pediatrics, being a doctor. You have to be strong in biology. Look at how many different platforms and programs there are at Ccac for allied health and nursing. Know that there are many of pathways into healthcare. Think about COVID-19. There is going to be a lot of jobs that are going to be being created and that are going to be growing within the field of healthcare as a result of COVID-19. In the Pittsburgh region, we are very high levels and very known for our healthcare system. And so if you're considering healthcare as a pathway, Ccac provides all kinds of different opportunities. So what I want to do is just briefly look at a difference between a certificate level and an academic associate degree level. So if we look at medical assistant, that would be a great way to get yourself into the field of healthcare because you start learning all the processes within the hospital. And then after you start working there, maybe you get an opportunity to expand your education. And maybe you're working for an organization that pays for you to do that. That happens more often than you think. So if we look at a medical assistant certificate, these are the courses that you would be taking. If you notice, I don't have to scroll any further. That's the end of it. So in about a year, and right here you see one course in the summer, which would be an externship, which is similar to an internship. You would be working with an organization. You take 1 year of classes and you could start. A hospital will hire you. You will be there as a medical assistant and you can continue on towards your associate's degree as a medical assistant. So I wanted to show you these to know that there are different pathways. It's not just, I have to go to school for 2 years before I can start working. If it's important for you to work, you need to make money. I know people, and some of you may be in a position where you help your family out, that you have bills of your own, you're paying for your cell phone, you have a car, you like to, buy clothes or go shopping, you may have to work as well. So in consideration of that, you can get yourself a job at a hospital and then considering moving on with your education. There is no way we would have enough time. We would be on here till next Friday to go over every program and discipline that we have. I just showed you 2 examples of our psychology and medical assistant based off of some of the feedback that I received from you on your career pathways. So right now, is there anybody that has any questions based off of what I just covered? Okay, good. And again, if you feel like a question comes up at some point in time, just feel free to ask. You don't have to, you can just say, hey, Mr. Andrew, I don't mean to interrupt, but can I ask you a question? That's absolutely fine. You don't have to wait till the end. So what I'm going to do now is keep my screen shared because we're going to be going over 2 different opportunities that you could take advantage of while you're in high school, because the things that we just talked about, some of you that are graduating, you can come to CCAC, starting now in the summertime if you'd like, but definitely in the fall starting in August. In consideration of those of you still enrolled in high school, there we go. This is our dual enrollment information that I'm going to be going over now. So at CCAC, as you can see here, you can get a head start on college. You can get a head start on college by earning college credits while you're still enrolled in high school. And these can come in multiple formats. So some of your high schools, some of you that came on, I wasn't able to hear what high school you're from, but any type of question that you would have involving CCAC courses, you can ask your high school counselor. So you can ask your counselor and they can support you. So if you see here, classes offered at your high school or at your CTC, which is a career technical center. Does anybody take any type of courses at a CTC or take any CTE classes through Pittsburgh Public Schools?
Mr. Andrew, I just wanted to chime in. Jamar, who joined us a few minutes ago, said, I don't think I heard the beginning, but they do have training for psychology for high school students.
Yes, yes. And that's something you could definitely take a psychology course while you're still enrolled in high school. That's a great point, and thank you for adding that. So that was good. Thank you for adding it. Anybody that wants to add, like I said, feel comfortable to do that. So as you see here, we do offer courses within high schools. Ask your counselor, ask your teacher, your principal, whenever you get the opportunity, whether that's when you get back to school or if you're in communication with them this summer on if the school is offering any courses at your school. But there's also courses that are offered at CCAC at our campuses and centers. Okay, so these courses here are going to be our generalized CCAC course that you would be enrolled in as a high school student. If it is a face-to-face course, you may be in class with other students that are college level. You may be in a cohort of other types of other high school students from different types of high schools. As we've heard on here, Quay took an English 101 course through Neighborhood Learning Alliance. Those students were from different high schools that work with Neighborhood Learning Alliance, and they were able to take a course at our CCAC campus on the north side. That is our traditional dual enrollment. This here is referred to as our college and high school courses. So again, you could ask your counselor, say, hey, do we offer any college and high school courses with CCAC? Students that transfer from CCAC. This is a short list of schools that students transfer to. If you see, you have local schools such as Carlow, Carnegie Mellon, Chatham, Clarion, things like that. You have further away schools that are higher level with prestige, such as Duke, Georgetown. We also have, what's the word? Ivy League schools. We work with Ivy League schools such as Harvard. We work with historically Black colleges and universities, or HBCUs, such as Howard. So we cover all different types of schools for supporting students to transfer to. So if you see here, once students graduate from high school, they could use their CCAC credits to do multiple things. They could either come to CCAC and use those credits towards completing their certificate or associate's degree. They could take that credit, finish that degree, and transfer and move on to a four-year school to finish off for their bachelor's degree. Or they could take that credit and transfer it directly into a four-year school of their choosing. So if right now you're thinking, I'm not planning on going to CCAC after high school, although I would recommend it, even though if you're not considering CCAC after high school, if you take a dual enrollment course, you can take that credit with you to another university. We have transfer counselors that would work with you and support you on that. As we look here, this is going to give us an opportunity to talk through our admission steps. This is for dual enrollment, okay? So for dual enrollment, again, the easiest thing to do, go to ccac.edu. As we've already visited ccac.edu, I'm going to take us back there and show us where applications can be done. First, here's the Apply Now box on the right side of the screen. You click the Apply Now. If you have graduated from high school, you would click First Time New Student to CCAC and fill out the application. It'll take you about 15 minutes, and you will have to know your social security number. So, ask a parent or guardian if you don't know it, because you will need it to complete the application. If you are a high school student, you would click on Dual Enrollment Student, and from there, complete the application. And again, you will need your social security number. So make sure that you have access to it at that time. Right now, during COVID-19, there are some changes that we've made to make things more virtual and easier accessible to students. So if you go to ccac.edu and scroll on our main page, it will show you all of the information for our virtual opportunities. We have virtual open house opportunities coming up, which I'll show you here in a moment. Our admissions department has virtual opportunities through this tab. This explains the summer course offerings that, if you see up here, begin May 18th, June 1st, and June 29th. So it would be difficult for you to get enrolled in our June 1st courses, considering that is on Monday. But our June 29th courses, there are a lot of opportunities for you to take courses. Virtual advising, support with financial aid. Is there anybody on here who is in the process of completing their financial aid and would need some support or help on that? Okay, that's good. If you end up needing it, let somebody know, or you.
Hey, I know there are a couple of y'all.
Yeah, usually kids don't like to say if they need help with their financial.
Yeah, and that's fine, Just keep in mind that these resources, even if you're not going to shout out right now, these resources are open to you. Mr. Andrew is wonderful. He and I have a great time every time we talk for way too long. Yes. And he's I'm not just saying this because he's on the line. He's an incredibly approachable person. So if you have any questions that Miss Carlo, in her infinite wisdom on this stuff, can't answer, Mr. Andrew is a great resource for you all. So please keep him in mind.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. And yes, I am 100% accessible to you, and I will support you through anything, even if it's a question that you feel like, man, he probably doesn't have the answer, find out. And if I don't have the answer, I will help track it down. So make sure that any of these things that you need, this is the last step, is when you're actually registering for your classes. But any of these steps, if you need them, make sure you're taking advantage of them. And this isn't, exclusive to those that are just coming right now. If you're planning on coming to CCAC in the future, if you're planning to do it, let's say starting in the spring in January, it's better to get started now, okay? So if we see, CCAC does offer now virtual open house. So on Thursday, June 11th, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., you are able to log on and come to the open house and talk through any of these processes that are needed. If you're having troubles with enrollment, picking your programming, financial aid, any type of registration for classes, if you need some advisor help, and this one right here. If anybody on here, and you do not disclose this during the meeting unless you would feel, or during the session unless you feel comfortable with it, but if you are a student that has disabilities, learning disabilities, we do have supportive services that will help you. Everything with that is 100% confidential. If you have an IEP or any sort of accommodation in high school, we can work with you to support you while you're here in college. And again, you would work directly with that department, and you do not have to disclose information to anybody or talk about anything you wouldn't feel comfortable with.
Mr. Andrew,
Yes.
quick question. We have a question that was posted in the chat saying, I'm assuming this is about 12th graders getting prepared for college. Is any of this information important for underclassmen who might not yet be thinking about college?
Yes, because
Thank you.
what you have to do, and great question, that is absolutely a great question. If you are still in the process of thinking about what you want to do, realize that educational opportunities are not only available right after high school. This information may be something that you circle back to at a different time in your life, and you will know what to do because you were able to get that information on here. So please, this isn't just for those that are interested in going straight into college right after high school. This is giving you an understanding of what is available at CCAC. Some of you, and this is actually a great opportunity to touch upon something really quickly, because one of the areas I should have covered, and that is my mistake, is our trades. So some of you may be interested in,
I'm going to a trade.
yes, could you, I couldn't hear you. Could you say that one more time?
I'm going to a trade school.
Okay, what trade are you going into?
Cosmetology.
Okay, that's great. I was going to say, because, we discussed, I can't see who's speaking. Could you tell me your name?
My name is Serena.
Hi, Serena. Thank you for sharing.
Hi.
And that is a great opportunity. Make sure that as you're going through that, cosmetology is a large field. So there's different pathways you could take within that. And so I'm proud that you have been able to identify what you want to go into. So that's good.
Yeah.
So, as you see here, there are a lot of different trades that people can go into, right? So don't just think about this as being, I need to go into college to get a 2-year associate's degree, a 4-year bachelor's degree, a 6-year master's degree. There are also programs to help you get into becoming a plumber. Plumbers make a lot of money. They have a lot of opportunity. You could start your own plumbing business. So you could be an entrepreneur and somebody who's working in the skilled trades. Welding, a very high level in the Pittsburgh region, there's a lot of job opportunities for welding. If you look at, say, Heinz Field, imagine how much welding had to go into the building of that. All of our bridges that get worked on, all the new type of construction has welders on site. And again, you could cross that over and open up your own business and become an entrepreneur as well. And that is going to be the same for you going into cosmetology. So one of the things to consider is, we have so many programs, everything we touch upon, everything we talk about, we can touch upon it here. So if we look at our, and I can't see it because of the sun, our business, we have entrepreneurship. So that teaches you the ins and outs of opening your own business. So let's say you go to school for cosmetology, you're able to get a job, you're able to work, save yourself some money, and you're like, I want to open up my own space now. You can learn that through business management, but mainly entrepreneurship. We also have, in consideration of that, barbering certificate as well. So people that go into, my cousin's doing that now. She does hair, and so she now wants to get her barber's license. So she's applying to the college to be able to add an additional skill to what she's already able to do. So thank you for that feedback, everybody. Great job. Not too much more. I just want to cover one last thing. Again, in consideration of time, I know it's a Friday, so make sure that if you have any questions, you could follow up with myself so that I can get you all of this information. This last thing that we're going to be covering is a program that we have just recently got up and starting. We're actually going to be doing info sessions here pretty soon, but it is a program that is through Verizon Wireless, and Verizon and CCAC are partnering to be able to offer students an opportunity to take dual enrollment courses. So in consideration of that, if you look down here, so as part of this opportunity, you will be able to access our supportive services, and you will also have 100% paid tuition. So students will not have to pay for their tuition. Students will receive a stipend upon the completion of each term, which will be a fall and spring semester. So this fall 2020 and spring 2021. College and career mentoring from a CCAC staff member. It could be myself or some of my colleagues. You will become a college student receiving an ID and be able to access all of our supportive services and activities. And then also assistance with financial aid as you go on to continue your education following your programming with us and as you matriculate and graduate from high school. So what I'm going to do is, following this session, I'm going to share the dual enrollment and this program's flyer so that you can have access to it. So we do have upcoming info sessions on it. This isn't the start of the program. This is to gain information on the program. And if you would like to apply for it, following these info sessions, there will be application opportunities. I would recommend, and this is for a lot of things, it doesn't hurt to apply even while you're considering if that's what you want to do. You don't want to wait till the last moment and say—
And everybody, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Andrew, but all of that information following this session will be available on the Google Classroom.
Yes, thank you. That's great. It's great to hear things, but sometimes we need to actually see them for some of them.
Absolutely.
Phone, you know, so great. I appreciate you doing that. And so again, this is something that CCAC's applications are free. If you apply to CCAC, it doesn't hurt whatsoever. If you decide that it's a place that you don't want to go, or you end up moving or something like that, that's okay. It doesn't hurt you to apply. And the same with this program. Applying to this isn't just our general CCAC application. The application will be given after we have completed these information sessions. So that will be something that we follow up with everybody who gets involved with the sessions afterwards. Okay. So that right now, the two things that will be shared in your Google Classroom will be our dual enrollment brochure that we went over a little while ago. For any of you that are interested in, and you could start this summer. There are— how many people are on the line right now? Because I asked that because we do have funding available for students to take a dual enrollment course. And that is something that I could follow up with you on. If we hear interest from students that they want to take a class, we could help get that class covered for them for this summertime. And then also this program here that will start in the fall. And this again will be tuition paid for to take this course. And we would be seeking individuals that are interested in STEM type of programming, heading into science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, because you will be taking some college level technology courses in support of that. All right, so the last thing I just want to cover with you all is an understanding of the importance of what we just talked about and what we just went over. And then we'll head into a Q&A session. So I want you all to be able to just understand that right now you are on a pathway already. You're not waiting until you graduate from high school. If you were waiting that long, you're going to miss the train of life. The train is leaving the station. It's time for everybody to get on board. So I don't care what your pathway is. Some of you on here may consider the military. Some of you on here may consider getting a job right out of high school. Some of you may consider going into higher education or into any type of pathway. I heard on here trade school. So any type of higher education pathway. It doesn't matter what that pathway is. But what does matter is who you are as that individual on that pathway. So if you're somebody who wants to work with people, if you wanted to get an education, if you want to become a law enforcement, if you want to be a social worker, make sure that you understand that needs to have empathy. You need to be able to understand where people are coming from and to work with them and to, be able to work with them emotionally. So understand that aspect. If you're going into healthcare, very similar. Even though you may be working in a hospital, you're going to be working with people as well. You got to have a level of empathy. For those of you that are interested in STEM type of programming, make sure that you're taking opportunities now to do things that are technologically based and not just, playing a video game or accessing your computer, taking advantage of the Verizon program CCAC has to offer, taking advantage of other types of programs and opportunities that are out there in the Pittsburgh area for you to get involved with. But know that you are currently on your pathway towards success, and you are currently on your pathway towards a career. And people like myself in the Community College of Allegheny County are here to support you on that journey. And if there's anything that you need, any questions, anything that you have in regards to CCAC, if you don't have that question available right now, make sure you follow up and so we can get that answered for you. So right now, in consideration of all of that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Do any of the students that are currently online have any questions for me at this time?
So I have a comment.
Yes.
Wanted Mr. or Dr. Johnson to come in today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So that you all know what the opportunities are for the summer, because as you all know, we're not going to send you all out for placement this summer. So we were looking for opportunities for you all to do virtually. We will pay you as if it was your summer placement if you were taking one of these classes. So, if the class is free, and we're paying you, of course you have to pass and actually work at it. That would be your summer placement. And I actually have one of the brochures that we get from CCAC, because I am a graduate. Some of the most popular classes this summer, according to this flyer, is English Composition 101, English Composition 102, Intro to Psychology, Intro to Sociology. So these are like awesome opportunities, and just what you all were talking about. LaCoye, you like writing, so that English class would be great for you. You're interested in sociology, psychology, that's also a class. I mean, I would start with one, but those opportunities are available and you can go into the fall. Danielle, your question was, is this for graduating seniors? You can take dual enrollment as early as, is it 11th grade or is it 10th if you have your counselor's permission?
Well, we would evaluate that based off of the student. We generally get 11th and 12th graders, but don't not submit your information if you're in 9th or 10th grade. We'll make that determination based off of GPA, and if your counselor is supporting you and your school supporting you, we trust that recommendation as well.
Absolutely. And if you all are going to be taking this class, our tutors have already asked if we were going to need them over the summer. We can actually pull our tutors back in, for various courses over the summer. Mr. Jeremy and I have, definitely, taken these classes. I love psychology, so I might be a little bit of help. I try not to do homework, but I think I can get you through some of these. And definitely Mr. Jeremy could do that as well. So definitely consider it. I think it's a great opportunity. I'm always talking about my daughter. She graduates this year, but she had the opportunity to take a free class because the Boyce campus had scholarships available. So that was something that, seniors take this opportunity, and you can transfer additional college credits for next year. So it's just a head start on what you're going to be doing, because I think we have 4 of our seniors on the call, and that would be great for your resumes and your first year experience as well.
Absolutely. And keep in mind, everybody, what's the debt that Miss Carla and I are always complaining about, always talking about, that applies most specifically to the 4 seniors here, but to everybody really? What's that kind of debt?
Can you repeat your question?
What's the kind of debt that Miss Carla and I are always complaining about?
Student debt? Student loans?
Debt. And in this situation, not only is Dr. Andrew, I'm sorry, I've been dead naming you essentially, Dr. Andrew, not only is he saying that there are scholarships available, but Miss Carla, like Miss Carla said, we're really excited that we'll actually be considering one of these classes as your summer placement. So not only are you not having to pay for the class, you are getting paid to take a class that if you're planning on getting a 2-year or 4-year degree after high school anyway, you would have to pay for. And because it is a proper CCAC class, the probability of it transferring to another institution if you decide to transfer is very, very high.
Yeah.
So this is a really, really amazing opportunity for you all. I recommend you at the very least take it seriously and look into it.
And that's great. And in addition to that, realize too that taking a college course, again, I mentioned this earlier, but this is for those that may have came on later. Not only is it the credit, but it's the content. You're also learning and you're getting skills. And so don't just take it as, sometimes class is just like, I can't wait for this to be over. And then you get later on in life and you're wondering why you can't do the math that you need to be doing. Make sure you're paying attention to that now. So if you do take a Psychology 101 class, that will help you in the future when maybe someday you become a parent, maybe someday you become a teacher, maybe someday you become a police officer. All of that will be able to help you, even though it might not be something that's a requirement for you to get into that pathway or to do that work.
Absolutely. And for those of us who had to take typing in high school, imagine how much we're kicking ourselves now for not doing more in class.
Yes.
My math, yeah, absolutely. Teachers sometimes say things that don't end up being true. Like my math teachers in high school, and I'm sure Miss Carla and Dr. Andrew, you'll agree with this. They always said, you're not going to have a calculator in your pocket all the time. And it's like,
yes.
Well, sorry, Ms. Perrine, but yeah, I do. And that was actually
I have a phone.
Yeah, exactly. That said, though, a lot of the things that you're learning, I mean, first of all, you don't want to have to whip out your cell phone on like a date or something to figure out 20% for a tip. That's a little embarrassing.
Yes.
But in addition to that, these aren't going to be, these might be 101 level classes, but a college entry level class is very different from a high school entry level class. So make sure you keep that in mind. This is real college stuff. This isn't some, janky online class without an accreditation. This is a really, and that's not to say anything bad about online classes, but this is a real institution and a real opportunity. It's awesome.
That's a great point. Don't think that a class is going to be less rigorous just because it's for high school students. You might be sitting next to somebody who is working on their master's degree.
Yeah.
Coming back to get a class. So that gives you an opportunity to really understand what college looks like. From the standpoint of sitting in that classroom, even if it's online, you're going to be engaging with people that may be significantly older than you. And so that's a great opportunity for you to learn.
And I think you said this before, but the oral communications class, everybody has to take an oral communications class at some point. And I think taking it in the summer virtually is going to be so much better than standing in front of, because those classes are normally full. So just say, 40 people, and you really have
at
to
least 40 people.
10-minute speech or 5-minute speech, and you're standing there scared to death. Can you imagine doing it from the comfort of your living room, dining room, bedroom, put your shirt on and stand in front of the camera? And it's
exactly, you got your shirt and tie and pajama pants underneath, like, you're good.
Exactly. It's so much easier. It's like usually when somebody, says, oh, Carl, I want you to come and do a presentation or something. I have one coming up next week. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. I'm sitting here. I don't really care. It's not going to be that traumatic on me. But I think this would be, I'm not saying it's an easy A, because you do have to put some work into those presentations. It is a lot of work. But I think it'll be so much better on your nerves that you could do it from your house as opposed to standing in front of a classroom.
Absolutely.
That may be something you will want to consider.
And I agree. This was all great added input to make sure that you all understand the importance of this. And in regard, for those of you that can see the chat box, I have put my email address in there. It's A Johnson, the number 4,
Hello?
ccac.edu.
Yeah,
Hello?
Chanel. What's up?
Okay. So y'all, I just want to, make a little bit of a awareness thing. I've been gone for a while. I'm about to get off the bus soon, so you all can hear me more clearly. But first and foremost, me, Unique, and Naquayo, we all have been accepted to La Roche with scholarships. So we're very happy. We're doing good with that.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Committed completely. Also, I wanted to speak on what is happening right now. I mean, you have to live under a rock to not know what's going on. But I just want to say,
what before I know you're getting ready to get off the bus, and I hope we can, keep you on. But can we let Miss Dr. Johnson finish first? I'm excited.
I thought he was done.
Huh?
I thought he was finished. My bad.
No.
Sorry.
Not yet. He had a couple more.
That's quite all right.
Okay, go ahead.
And I'm finished right now. All I wanted to do was tell everybody that I am 100% accessible to you. My email address is there. Do not hesitate to reach out to me. Don't feel uncomfortable reaching out to me. I am here for you, and you can access me at any point in time. So that's all I wanted to finish off with. So thank you for that opportunity to say that.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Dr. Johnson, thank you so much for being here. Can we have a big, thank you, handshakey, American Sign Language round of applause for Dr. Johnson, please? And like I said, I will be sure to put all of the information we received from Dr. Andrew on our Google Classroom so that it's accessible whenever you all get around to it, okay?
And look for that on the first thing next week so that I can make sure that I get everything that I want to get to you all in one fell swoop.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate you coming out. I'm pretty sure we'll be in touch soon.
Absolutely. I look forward to it. And to those students that just said they got congratulations, and congratulations to the rest of you for being on here today on a Friday and logging on virtually to getting something to benefit yourself. I look forward to continuing our work together.
Thank you so much. Have a great
Thank you so much.
Stay safe.
All right, everybody have a good weekend.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.